Very good.
So we did not go anywhere.
Okay, so we start, guys. So now the topic is work group and domain. Earlier I told peer to peer, but this time it is work group and domain. So what is this work group? What is domain? In simple terminology, we'll see. Okay, I cannot go simple, but I will try. Peer to peer means the PCs are connected in the network, so they will communicate each other without any centralized controller or a centralized administrator. Okay, so work group is a model, is a no centralized administration, means decentralized administration. Guys, I have a laptop, it is a work group laptop. It is not binded to any domain. Okay, it is a work group laptop. I have a user in this laptop, I have a user name. This user information and the password, the user's password information is stored in this PC only. Remember, in a workgroup PC, every PC is administrated, controlled individually. For example, I have an office, 100 computers are there. 100 computers are in workgroup, meaning is every PC has their own administrator account and user accounts. If you want to install some application in that PC, you can do it by going to that PC, login with that user account or admin account. Simply say workgroup means it is individual PCs, decentralized administration. So you have to administrate each and every PC separately. Every PC has their own local administrator and user accounts. Okay, so that is a workgroup model. Just separate, like you have a laptop, I have a laptop, right? These are all in a work group only, because it's a one laptop, it is your personal computer, so you will manage it. But in organizations, means big organizations, there is 100 computers, 200 computers, are difficult to administrate individually. Difficult to administrate individually. So what we are doing this, we put a one big server here. Okay, so this is a server. Now, instead of maintaining each and every PC, their local administrator and local user, I will administrate from my central server. Okay, I will control from my this central server. I will maintain the database of these devices. I will maintain the database of these devices. Okay, means computers, database, users information and group information. Okay, resource information in case I have a printer. The printer information also stores here. Resource information store in this central server only. In the central server only. Meaning is, guys, this central server will control all the machines, their behaviors, their settings, their applications from single point only. So this is called a domain environment. This is called a domain, and that server we call it as a domain controller. Server it is we call it as a domain controller. Okay, so the devices, those who are belongs to the domain, so they have to obey to the domain rules and regulations. Okay, users in the domain controller can log into, users in the domain can log into any PC. Okay, so I will read and tell. So it is work group. This is the work group model, guys. PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4, PC5. PC1 local account is Akash. PC2 Kirti, Deepak, Mansi, Arvaj. So here it is. PC1 is Akash is a local administrator of PC1. So Akash can able to change the settings to PC1, can install and uninstall the applications, give permissions. Okay. So PC1 contains Akash user information and password information. So Akash can log into PC1 but cannot log into PC2 or PC3 or PC4. Same goes. It is same goes for others. Like a Kirti is a admin for PC2 but not cannot log into other PCs. Can able to log into PC2 but cannot log into PC3 or PC1. Same goes for Deepak. Deepak is a local user for PC3 and he cannot log into other PCs and he will administrate PC3 but not administrate other PCs. Okay. So this is simple work group model. The last point is you have a multiple computers, means 100 to 100 computers are there. You want to do certain changes as you are managing all these computers as a person,
No,
as a person. You tell me? Okay. As a person, you have to go to each and every PC and change the settings, rules, everything, anything you want to apply, installation, uninstallation, settings, everything you have to go one by one. So you cannot control centrally. On another hand, this is the domain environment. Can you see? These are the PCs C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 are belongs to a domain called a contresso.com domain. This is just a name. Contresso.com is a name. Server A is a server name. Domain Contresso.com is a domain name. Okay. This domain server A is a domain controller which is maintaining and controlling our domain. This domain controller maintaining a database. The database name called NTDS.DIT. What is this database contain? Computer informations. Those where belongs to my domain. So I will show you one more thing, guys. Here, look at here. What is a computer is belongs to domain or not a domain? That is I will show you. Okay. See, rename this PC advance. Look at here. My work group name is work group. Means I am the member of work group. So my laptop is work group PC. If in case I want to join into the domain, I cannot join because I don't have domain in my current place and I'm a home PC. My laptop is home. So a member of domain. Okay. So you want to join into a domain. So it means there is a server which is created and managing domain. So you have to click member of domain and give the domain name here. Click OK. Then you will join into the domain. Okay, you will join the domain after authentication. Guys, again I'm showing I am belongs to work group. I am belongs to work group name called a work group only. Work group name is work group only. If in case if there is a domain environment, I want to join into the domain, then I have to go to member of, click on a domain, give the domain name, click OK and give the authentication. You will be the member of domain. Like C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 PCs are joined into the domain. So these information added to our domain database. Not only that, in domain controller, I added guys, there is a one video is there I recorded and usually I share the video to every batch that contains a domain active directory Active Directory practicals also there. I will share that link also. Please, when you have a time, please go through once. So you don't need to watch first 30-40 minutes. It is around 1.5 hour. So yeah, only watch 40 minutes video. Last 40 minutes is important because first 40 minutes explanation about work group and domain, but last 40 minutes about a domain controller and a client, how to add a client to domain, how to create a user in the domain controller, how to log into the client, how to reset the client password, how to use the group policy settings also. Okay, that is good practical environment. So you will understand the server Active Directory level, domain level better. Anytime you can watch it. I will share the link definitely, but I have to search where it is located. Yeah, what are it is, guys? I add a users in the domain controller. I add a users in the domain controller. So those users can log into any PC in the domain. Any PC in the domain. So what is the thing? So when you log in to a PC with user 1, the authentication will send to the domain controller only. So domain controller will authenticate users. Domain controller authenticate users. Okay, so then once user is authenticated, so he is authorized to access the PC. Okay, so user information, username, password stored in a domain controller. Whereas in a work group, username and password stores in their PC only. But here, the user information, their password information stored in our domain controller only. Computer joined in the domain called a domain computers, users in the domain called a domain users. Domain user can log into in their any domain computers. These domain users can log into any domain computers.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me
sir, what is codomain?
what it is.
Codomain.
Codomain. I never hear. Subdomain is there. Codomain is not there. You have a domain controller, additional domain controller, primary domain controller means your domain controller is primary domain controller, additional domain controller is backup domain controller. Okay, domain, again domain may having a subdomains. For example, your domain name is domain.com, and under that one I have a small Hyderabad domain is there, subdomain. Again split is there like a Hyderabad dot domain.com. It's like a subdomain. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank.
Codomain I never hear. Last one is a user can log into, a user can able to log into any domain computers. Domain admin is a domain administrator is an administrator for all devices in the domain. Domain user log into domain computer. Okay, domain controller authenticates that user. So user one log into C1. Who will authenticate? Domain controller. In this one, Akash log into PC1. Who will authenticate? PC1. Here user one log into C1. Who will authenticate? Domain controller. Okay, centralized administration. So we'll go back to this. Guys, work group is a decentralized administration. Every device having their own local administrator. Every PC, every device having their own local administrator. No centralized control. It is a decentralized administration. Once PC user cannot log into other PC, the user in the PC can be authenticated by that PC only. One system users authenticated by that system only, and one system user or administrator cannot log into other systems or other PCs, other devices. Okay, user and password information stores in their own system only. Can control or manage individually, not centrally in our group. Okay, more number of PCs are difficult to manage. Centrally, we don't manage, means one by one go and manage. There is a lot of issues and lot of difficulties are there. Centralized means domain. It is a centralized administration. Centralized controller is there. That is called a centralized controller is a domain controller, which is nothing but a server. So domain administrator is a admin for all systems in the domain. Okay. In domain controller, it stores information of users, groups, computers, services, resources in the database. Okay, so that is called a Active Directory database. And whenever the user is logged into a domain computer, so your domain controller authenticates. Whenever your user is accessing certain resources or accessing a computer, we need an authentication and authorization. Who will give authentication and authorization? Your domain controller only. Domain user can able to log into any domain. And there's one point I didn't told, right? So if you want to install some application or a settings, okay, you want to go and put a settings or install some application, or you want to say like a no access permissions or no access permissions, means allow or deny certain permissions. That is also comes under settings, right? So there is 100 computers. You have to go to 100 computers. You have to create their local group policies. You have to go to each and every computer and do those settings, or should go to the local group policies and do the settings. But in domain environment, it is a centralized one. You create a group policy in the domain controller and you apply to a specific group of users or computers or all users or computers. So those will affect with the policy. Okay. That is about work group and domain. Okay. What is a group policy? It is enforce various type of settings to large number of users and computers in the domain, called a group policies. Enforce various type of settings to the large number of users and groups in the domain using group policies. Okay, so that is our group policies. Now I have to go to this work group and domain. Practical one is there, so it is 20 videos we have made it, but not all these things. So I have to go to old one. So for one certain SD batch, I showed in a practical manner. Is it this one or this one? So I've written like this is a old one only. Yeah, this one. I told to every batch, but very less members of viewers are there. Yeah. So whenever you open this link, guys, okay, so you can start from after 45 minutes. Means almost like a 40 minutes you have to watch. So one is like how to domain joining, creating users, login user, reset password, including group policy, at least one group policy I created. Okay, so try that one. Anyway, my WhatsApp is not working, so go through this. Okay, copy this and paste into your WhatsApp group. Okay, if you want, I will show you how it is. Okay, so this is entirely work group domain explanation only. I've taken that much time. If you want, you can watch it again, no problem. See it is. I'll make it little bigger. If you feel bored, then you can increase the speed also. Explanation is there. Maybe someone I will ask me. So this is a computer, my already joined computer, that is already client computer. Okay, so it is already in the domain, just I'm showing. If you are in a domain, member of domain name is, it is showing that one. So it is in my physical machine, it is showing earlier what it is showing. I'm in a work group, my work group name is work group. But now can you see this computer is in domain, member of domain, domain name. This PC already in a domain. So I showed how to, what is that? I think this second part is enough. First part is I do, second part only I told so much such story. This is my server, guys. 2016 server it is. And watch once more this. This is the server interface. 2016, 19, 12, all are same interface. So I went to the Active Directory users and computers. Okay, Active Directory users and computers. So here it is. I am trying to create a user. Already one user is there. So some users already created. These are the OU. The left side one is OUs. OU means a simple container contains the users, like it's kind of folders. You can say it's just like a folder. Organizational units means, for example, a department is there or one area is there, like that. In that department, who are the people are working, I'll put it into one OU. So department name, like here I created HR department, HR members. Okay, their computers, their groups into one OU. I created a user here, name is Ashwini. Okay, so I given a username and password also. Now I created a user in the server. Now I'm going to client. I log out from the client. Log in with the user. See other user. So I'm already in a domain. It is showing a sign into my domain name. So I am giving user the username which is created in the server. I'm trying to log into my domain. So username @ my domain name I given. You can give different ways. So that's I'm trying to explain there. Okay. So I log into Ashwini account. I log in with the Ashwini account in my client. But in my client, I didn't create Ashwini. Where I created Ashwini account in the server. So I created account in the server and I log into client machine. How it is possible? Because of my client PC is the member of that domain. Okay, my client and servers both are belongs to same domain only now. That's why I can able to create a user in the domain controller, and I can able to log into my client PC. Next one is group policies. So this is the next example I showed, group policies. Okay. So in here it is, there is a um, policy it is. So see, this is the group policy management. Already two policies are created and linked. Okay. Already two policies because it is regular class related. So it is already there. Now I think I am use this picture. So what I'm trying to do here, it is there is a picture. So I am giving this picture as a setting to my client for background. Okay, so my PC background is like this, right? This is my PC background. I want to change my wallpaper. What to do? I need a picture, then I will change my background. But this is what we are doing in from central PC. I'm enforcing this wallpaper to multiple users. So multiple who are like 100 users are there. 100 people will get a, yeah, see Ashwini is login finally. So for 100 people, same picture as a wallpaper. So I am created a setting in my server. I link the setting in the server and I enforce the settings to a large number of users or a groups. So they should get this setting. Okay. Including it is we can allow deny kind of stuff, firewall settings, network settings, we can able to apply on the large number of users and computers. That is called a group policies. This part is if in case someone asks me that question, so a incident or something service request is raised. That time I have written multiple things. For example, there is a service request is raised. Okay, service request is user forget his password that I want to change my password. Please reset my password. Then how to do? Where is your account? My account is in the server, right? So I am the service desk person. I log into the server. Where is your account? It is in the server. I go to server, find out where is your username, right click on it, go to reset the password. Then I reset the password, click OK. Then I will tell the client, yeah, password is resetted successfully. Follow this password, dummy password. Next time you will change your password. Then user got that password. Okay, so I resetted a password and try to log into this password. Okay, so I given old password not working, so I'm giving new password. It is working. Okay. I think I didn't done a group policy on this one, but actually that is a good thing. Why I explained there. You can also search my two group policy things. You can try it. Because very less members or more members. Okay, so this is at least group policy explained, but I didn't done. I think so. No problem. So compulsory watch this video, guys. Already I shared the link in this chat box. So copy and paste into your WhatsApp group. My in here it is not opening. That's the problem. Last point in this topic, and there is two topics are there. We don't know how much time we have. Yeah, I will complete these two topics also now. Guys, what is Active Directory or what is a domain? Already we discussed workgroup and domain. So in workgroup, everything is individual PCs only. But in domain, there is a computers and servers are into one point, right? Not individual one. It is a centralized one. So domain is a centralized one. Guys, when you want to search in a Google about a domain, search like a Active Directory domain. Then only our domain things will come. Otherwise, it will show different answers. That's why I said AD domain. Domain or AD domain, both are same as per our point of view. Okay, but domain as an English word, different naming is there for different kind of answers. You'll get it if you search like only domain. So better search like a sorry, search as an AD domain. Okay. Yeah, so don't confuse. Active Directory domain or a domain, a logical administrative boundary of users and computers. So you look at here, C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5 and the printer 1, user 1 to user 10 are belongs to domain. So including C6 PC also there in the same network, but C6 is not a part of domain. So user 1 or user 2 or user 3 can log into C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, but they cannot log into C6. Why? Because of it is outside of the domain. So then, even though C6 is in the same network, but outside of the domain. Okay, outside of the domain. That's why it is a logical administrative boundary. It is a boundary, logical administrative boundary. Active Directory domain controller can can enforce settings, can users can log in within the domain, logical domain space only. It is not affect on anything on a C6. For example, domain controller create a rule and everybody should follow the rule. So C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 will follow the rule. C6 don't follow. So 6 not apply on those rules. Why? Because of it is not in our domain. That's it is logical administrative boundary of users and computers. Guys, what is Active Directory? It is also important question. What is Active Directory or AD or Active Directory? Okay. So what is an Active Directory? Active Directory database stores identity of users, groups, computers, services, and resource information. Active Directory database stores identity of users, groups, computers, services, and resource information. Active Directory authenticates users and computers when they log into domain. Or you can say Active Directory authenticates users when they log into client computers or domain computers. So you are a user 1. You want to log into C1. So you type username and password. For authentication, the request sent to the domain controller and domain controller verifies your username and password. That is called a authentication, right? So again, what is an Active Directory, guys? What is an Active Directory? Two things are there. One is authentication. Okay, Active Directory database stores user identity of user, groups, computers information. Very simple. And Active Directory authenticate users. Active Directory authenticate users when they log into domain computer. In the domain, when he log in, anywhere you log in, there is an authentication method is there, no? Like that. So you said, we said Active Directory database, right? 2 points. One is database, another is authenticates. What is the database name is NTDS.DIT, New Technology Directory Service, Directory Information Tree. What is this authenticate? How Active Directory authenticate? Using authentication protocol called a Kerberos or a LDAP. Okay, so this Active Directory name came from Microsoft services only. It is a mainly Microsoft service. Active Directory is a Microsoft service. First time it is used in a Windows Server 2000. In 2000 and server and 2003 server, the name is Active Directory only. But in 2008, this Active Directory changed to Active Directory Domain Services because different type of services came up. Guys, understand up to here? Active Directory domain or a domain.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last for 2 points I've written, 3 points I've written. Azure AD. What is Azure AD? Azure means Microsoft Public Cloud Service. From Microsoft, there is a public cloud services called Azure. AD means Active Directory. What is Azure AD? Active Directory service from Azure Cloud. In case I am unable to buy a server, I'm unable to buy a Active Directory server, and if you have a server, compulsory required additional servers also required, right? One server is there. If it is failed, then I have to be ready with another failover, right? So secondary server is required. More load is increasing, then also required additional servers. Public network access is required, means public IP address is required. If in case anybody want to log in through internet, then we have to connect the server through public network, firewalls, network security, physical security, storages. So obviously, what are the server thing, data center we discuss, all the components we have to maintain. That will maintain burden on the organization sometimes. For example, I started a small organization, small company. I cannot bear this much of infrastructure cost. So what I will do, better I will go to the cloud. From Azure Cloud, I am getting now Active Directory services. So user will authenticate either whenever they connected to internet, so they can authenticate using Active Directory database. So you don't need to maintain any infrastructure, just you have to pay as you use the service. Okay, as you use, you have to pay. So who are the users? You have to add the user name and their database you have to use. So you will get a Active Directory user account and password account. Okay, give it to the users. Very simple, right? You don't need to manage infrastructure, no need to be stay at a physical server also not required. Both physical and network security, no need to worry. Very simple. Go and subscribe, pay as you go. How many number of users you are there? So they, based on that, you have to pay the amount. Okay. So it is authentication and authorization. Authentication means verification of
Sir,
identity. Mm.
sir, is Azure is providing a platform as a service?
No, no, no.
Like, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Platform as a service, right? You are saying, yeah, Azure both infrastructure as a service, like a virtual machine, storages providing, and also app service is there. Platform as a service is also there. Like as per Beanstalk in AWS, same
Yeah,
Azure is also having that services.
okay.
Both database services also there in Azure. Okay, storage services, virtualization services, network services. So there are. Okay,
Okay.
names are different. Mostly it is same. Authentication, verification of identity, authorization, whether allow to access or deny to access is called a authorization. DHCP, DNS. Okay. So how much we can able to put, we'll see. Yeah, take a break, guys. Another just 10 minutes only. Now I don't take more time. Okay, I will try. Take 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So 5 o'clock. 10 minutes already. It is 4:47. So no problem. Just 5 o'clock. Relax. Then we'll see DHCP and DNS in single shot. Main points only. Normally I will take each part is 1 day. Like since morning I'm taking 3 days of class. Okay, 3 days of class complete. Because I if I give information, so at least you will go and read, you will understand it. Okay. So lesser the means, so better for both 9 and 10 batches. I'm telling you. So take a break
Yes,
for
sir.
up to 5 o'clock.